in loving memory of Honey Bear.
We got Honey Bear and Viola. Viola, what'd we just do?
We walked it, honey.
And who are we gonna go get now?
Lexi, cheese.
Cheese.
Drop your pet's name in the comments. I'd love to honor them.
There is nothing cuter than my German Shepherd acting like a cat. That's my dog. Hey friends. I'm going to try not to cry in this video because nobody wants to see that. Here's my baby Bella. And she is happy and fabulous. And here is my baby Rexy. And he is happy and fabulous. I'm finally here to tell you that last Monday, our honey bear went to heaven. She went to doggy heaven. And I'm going to tell you all the great things about being a mom of dogs. I told you I'm not going to cry. Don't cry. Even if you know you're going to outlive them, okay? Honey Bear was saved off of a highway in Kansas City by my husband 11 years ago. Here I was. And we already had dogs. We had, at the time that he saved Honey Bear, we had Katie the hound dog, Rex, who you just saw, who we don't know. We think he's part pit. I say he's boxer terrier so that the people that, you know, when you take them to kennels to be babysat, not kennels, you know what I'm talking about, like doggy daycare. They don't really always like pits. That may be changing. He's probably part pit. We call him a boxer terrier. And we also had Linky, our Catahoula Terrier. And so here my husband brings home this snarling German Shepherd who he saved off of the highway by coaxing her to his car with chicken nuggets. Reason number one why I love my husband, how much he loves dogs. So then that gave me 4, right? Katie, Rex, Linky, and here comes Honey Bear. She was named Honey Bear because he said that she was like digging for honey. So then I spent 2 full paychecks from, at the time I was acting for Kansas City Repertory Theater, I spent 2 full paychecks on her going to gentledogtraining.com. I don't know if they still exist, but it was a farm that specifically focused on German Shepherds, very gently training them. Because goodness knows what we had saved her from, how she ended up on the highway. I do know that her teeth had been filed down, her really sharp teeth. Who does that? I don't know why it's a thing. But when we, so my husband takes her to me, and I thought, okay, I'm doing this. And so I walked her around the house on a leash. At first, the entire time that my husband was out of town, she was by my side on a leash. I didn't have her eat near the other dogs. I would have her eat in a completely different room. And then I would have her eat outside the sliding glass door so she could see that it was food time. And then slowly, very slowly, was she allowed to enter the room, and they all ate side by side. There was dog bowl, water, dog bowl, water, dog bowl. We called them all to one place to eat. Never had a problem with food aggression until one day, after my husband had come home, I was training them all to go down to the basement in case of a tornado warning. And I would take pieces of turkey, and our trainer had told us to say something that you don't normally say in the house. So I would say, jackpot, jackpot, and I'd give them turkey. So that whenever we had a tornado warning, I would yell jackpot, and they'd come following me down the stairs to our basement where we would go for tornado warnings. So one day I was training them, and I pull out the turkey, and poor Katie is coming for her turkey, and Honey Bear. So that was a minute. So we were never, ever mean to our Honey Bear. I told you I wasn't going to cry. And, you know, she did have to be dog whispered one time. Just lay her on her side, stay there, not throw her, lay her on her side, hold her down until she realized, oh, I'm not the boss here, you are. So One of the only times. So here's how I knew she was a true keeper after my child was born. By the time my child was born, we only had 3. Katie passed while I was pregnant. They overlapped by about 5 months, I'd say. And so then we had the 3. And I knew that she was a true keeper, and I thank the good Lord that she was, because after my child reached, crawling age, one time I turned around, she's got her hand up in Honey Bear's mouth, and Honey Bear's just like, German Shepherd. But so prepare your animals. If you're going to bring a human child into the mix, what I did is I had a blanket from the hospital. And long before I even gave birth, I would start closing the baby gate and not allowing them into the baby's room. And so I wouldn't allow them in. And then when I would allow them in, sniff around, and then let them know this is my space. And I'd make them leave, and I'd close the baby gate. That it wasn't their room. They didn't own it. Because basically my dogs own my whole house. In fact, my whole life. And so I started getting this blankie, and I would hold it. There was no baby in it yet, but I would let them smell it, but not like too roughly. And then I'd bring it inside the baby gate with me, and I'd close the baby gate. So that was the blanket that we took to wrap my daughter, Vila Pete, in at the hospital. And then before I came home, my husband brought that blanket home. And they were like, this is the blanket that Mommy's been carrying. So he let them all smell it. And then when I brought Vila home, they had already smelled her scent because they had already smelled the blanket. I made it very clear, mommies. They didn't get to come too close. Sniff a little bit. Linky, the Catahoula Terrier that I mentioned, he passed away during COVID, so he went to join his sister Katie before Honey Bear did, and they were buddies. I'll tell you more about that in a second. Here's a funny dog story. My daughter, you know how we called her Sneaky Pete, because you know how kids want to like poop and pee whenever the heck they feel like it, not necessarily at the most convenient moment. So she was on her changing table, and I had just changed her, and I hadn't quite got the diaper on her yet, and then a blowout, as we say, and it ended up all over Linky, the Catahoula Terrier, and he was like, oh my God, I have poop on me, it smells like the baby, and he would run around and tell everybody how excited he was. Both Honey Bear and Linky, and Rex to a certain extent, but his hearing hasn't been as good the last few years, so I don't recall when he stopped doing it, but I used to be able to yell, get Papa, and Link and Rex would run to my husband, and I would say, go get the baby, where's the baby, and they would go find her wherever my daughter was. And we have a trampoline out here. There's the trampoline. So the last few years since we moved here, there would be a pool underneath a trampoline, and I would say, pool, Honey Bear pool, and she'd go around. I've never seen a German Shepherd or any of my dogs who loved water the way she did. She would go around and do her nose, and then I'm doing on one of my acting channels, I don't know, maybe I'll post this on my acting channel for the dog lovers. That is how I came up with the idea of walk and talk about acting, because for the longest time my dogs and I would walk 4 times around this yard for exercise, and I'm not kidding you, if I had not done it yet, Honey Bear would come, hey, we haven't done our walk yet, hey. And at first she just wanted to do 1 walk around the yard and then get lazy on me, but I trained her with a leash to go all 4 times, and every time we'd finish a lap I'd give them a bony, and then every time we'd finish a lap I'd give them a bony, and by bony I mean like, dog treat. So that's how I am going to continue that walk and talk about acting and go around this yard 4 times. These dogs can't make it all the way around because their little legs are shorter, and this one I carry her with me, Bella. So yeah, other fun things about Honey Bear is how she really loved Linky. And when she was passing, I said, go find Linky. She used to I didn't say it like that. I wasn't as eager as I just delivered that line. But I did say, go find Linky. I believe that they are together. And she would run out to the back fence and run the fence, and bark. We have 2 German Shepherds behind us. And she'd bark, and she'd bark. And she'd look out here to the house and wait for Linky to come running to her. So after he passed, she would do that. She'd run and run and run and look out here, and he wouldn't come. And so by the 3rd time she did that, and I realized that she was waiting for him, I decided I ran out to her. So imagine me, my big old butt running out to her. And then finally I tagged Rex in, and he started doing it. And then after a while, she didn't care. She just did it on her own. And her little smile, I've never seen a dog with such a beautiful smile. I'll post a picture. Actually, Linky did the same, and Katie. Rex isn't much of a smiler. He's sort of got a stern little face. I've always had 4 dogs at least. So I want to encourage you. If a dog enters your life who needs you, I found these dogs accidentally, and I don't think it's an accident. It was meant to be. I'm going to change what I just said. It was meant to be. So I'll go through the list, okay? Katie the hound dog, my husband saved her from a kill shelter, I believe in Kansas City. It was going to be one of her last days. So he saved her, and we had her for the longest, Katie the hound dog. And before that, there was a German Shepherd named Kodak, who he inherited from someone else. And I cared for her through her life once we got together, because my husband and I got married on 11/11/11 at 11:11 a.m. So he had those 2 before I met him. He also had Original Link, who had passed before I moved to Kansas City, but I knew him. I knew him back in 97, the first time I knew my husband. So that's 3 dogs right there who we loved together. And then Linky, we went to spread the Original Link's ashes in Utah, and we went by this trapper's property. A friend of his in Utah said, you got to see this puppy. It reminds me of Original Link. And sure enough, he was the runt of the litter. I'm certain we saved his life, because he was being bred to help hunt mountain lions and keep them away from people's properties. So we took him. He was flea infested, found somebody to bathe him. Thankfully, the people who we were staying with allowed him to sleep in a kennel outside safe, and they wouldn't let this flea-infested little puppy come in the house with me. And then we got a little thing that you take, a carrier that you take on the airline. I don't know if they still allow that, but they did. He sat at my feet, and I had little kibble so his ears wouldn't hurt during takeoff and landing. I was putting little kibble through the little hole, and so he's the only one we had from a puppy. We got him as early as, I don't know, 6 or 7 weeks old. So him, I actually know about how old he was. And then we brought him home, and the other dogs loved him. He would sleep next to Katie and Kodak, the original ones. And then when he was older, Rex, this one here, okay, one day he came to my fence, and he was like, hey, I want to live here. So I brought him in. The other dogs weren't trying to eat him through the fence. And it turns out that he had been lost in the neighborhood for Lord knows how long, and a man named Rex had found him, but he was escaping from Rex. So I said, well, you don't want him. I'll try and find his owner. So I tried. No chip. And so we chip all our dogs in case they're lost. They can find their way home to you. I always, whenever you find a dog on the street or in your neighborhood, I take them directly to the vet, and I say scan them to see if there's chipped, because maybe their collar fell off. Keep your collars on your dogs, friends. Mine have always had my name and number. Have they ever been called? No, but I do often. I call the number on people's tags, and I've gotten a few of my neighbors' dogs home to them same day because of their tags. So that's how we got Rex. And then Honey Bear, my husband, saved her off of a highway. She did not want to come to him. She was literally wanting to eat him. She always respected my husband, especially after the training, but she was always Mama's dog by my side. On all of my YouTube channels, you'll see that she was always behind me. And nobody knows this, but, you know, I'm an actor, which is why I have an acting YouTube channel. She was always at my feet during my self-tapes. She wouldn't bark. She's like, oh, mommy's self-taping. Let's just sit still. Goodness forbid somebody rang the doorbell or knocked, though, because then she would have. So, yeah, I redesigned the room a little bit. I have collars hanging. You'll see if you catch them in a video instead of Honey Bear being there in person. I'm about to go, if any of you know a great place that you prefer, I'm about to go through and pick some really great photos of my dogs and do like a canvas that I have on my self-tape wall that I then can just take down when I need it plain. So that'll probably be featured behind me in many of my YouTube channel videos next. And I have all their dog colors hung like a little chain, like you do when you make Christmas, like, you know, when you're a kid and you make them out of paper and you ring them together and you put them around the Christmas tree. I've got all the dog colors of every dog I just mentioned. Rex is wearing his, and I put Bella's on her when I take her on trips because she can't physically get out of this house. She's sitting right here now. So I want to encourage you to be open to opening your home and heart to a dog when it needs you. That's what we've always done. I waited till the end to cry. So I want to honor Honey Bear, honor these dogs. I love them so much. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to run some video and photo footage. I probably have been putting it up as B-roll along the way of the life and times of Honey Bear. I love you, girl. I believe she's watching me. Sorry for sniffling in your ear. I am not going to edit that out because it's real. These guys are convinced that Mama has a treat for them. I don't know. Maybe she does. Ha! Here you go. Ah! Good dogs! And there's my mountain girl over there. See if I can get these guys doing their chase and tackle thing. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. Let's get your bonies. Let's get your bonies. Okay, wait a minute. We have to open this. Okay, and Honey Bear, good dog. Link, good dog. Rex, good dog. Run, 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 run. Go, go, go. Go out. Go out. Good dogs. Go chase something. Hi, this is Donnie Mercado, and these are the Ginocchio dogs. Honey Bear, sit. Nice, sit. Rexy, sit. Nice, sit. They're the best dogs, especially if they're with Mama. Here's my Rexy. There's a boy. Watch, this is one of my Rex tricks, okay? Here we go. Rexy. Good boy. Hey, it's close-up time. I'm trying to catch a really good close-up of my dog, Honey Bear. Here, girl. Here, girl. Hey! That's right. Good dog. That's my honey. She's probably going to go bury it. As you can see, he leads a very rough life, this dog. Hi, Rexy. Yeah, hi, buddy. Yeah, the people said hi. She's a good girl. German Shepherd. And here's my Rexy. Hi, buddy. We think he's a Boxer Terrier. We don't really know. He came to my house one day about, I don't know, 7 years ago. Sit. Good boy. Okay, TGIF from Donnie Mercado and the Ginocchio dogs.